right.
Yeah.
To the mics.
Hello, hello, hello.
We are speaking to the mics.
Speaking to each other.
To each other and to the
Yes.
mics.
How
They
is
are
the light on
present.
top
There are
of
like
you?
four beings now.
I mean, I can start. I'm Sondi. Who are you?
I'm Jana.
What do you do?
I am an artist and I make live action role-playing games as a part of my art practice.
Okay.
And you?
I'm also an artist and I make interactive installations and video games.
Sounds fantastic.
Yes. You want to read the question?
Yeah, let's do the questions.
Okay.
We have a little game.
We're going to ask each other questions. Was that right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you ever take decisions based on your dreams?
I think I had several times in my life a situation where I was dreaming of something, then I woke up and then I was still believing that this happened. For example, if I had a conversation that happened in a dream, for quite some time I could believe that I actually had this conversation with someone.
Mm.
I don't think I made decisions based on that, but I had the feeling that something happened between us, although this was only in a dream, and then I was having a hard time to like overcome this dream reality and remember that no, this never happened.
Yeah.
Like this and you?
Yeah, I also don't know decisions, but definitely feelings. I had once one of the most vivid dreams that I ever had. I was dating somebody at that time and we were taking a nap. And in my dream, I cheated on him. But
While taking a nap.
While taking a nap. And I woke up and I had this feeling of guilt in my whole body for the whole day and he couldn't understand. And I really thought like I cheated on him. I was like, maybe it was like a ghostly figure. I don't know. It was strange. But it was so, I have very vivid dreams. So I take the feelings. Like if I'm angry at somebody in the dream, I will be angry at them during the day. And then I have to remind myself that it never happened.
I once had a dream that also made me feel really bad. It's one of my favorite dreams actually that I ever had. I arrived in the big kind of mansion, let's say villa. There's a huge suitcase full of snakes. And then I opened it and then the snakes ran away and I was really upset. And I had a great idea to catch all the snakes that ran away. I have to invite friends to the house so that the snakes could eat them.
Oh, wow.
And this plan worked out perfect. So what happened is like, all my friends got eaten by snakes. And then the snakes were really heavy. They could not move anymore and I could take them. And then I had to open the snakes and take my friends out. And
they were alive?
They were alive.
Wow.
So no friends were injured. But they all got like, oh, come on. Why did you do this?
Do you try to interpret your dreams also? Like
No.
when you woke up, were you like, why did I dream about this?
No, not really. Actually, I don't have any. I'm sometimes thinking that, oh, maybe if I'm dreaming of something weird or stressful, I actually have quite a lot of nightmares. And then it usually means that I'm in general overloaded.
I used to try to interpret them a lot because I also had a lot of nightmares. And now I'm wondering, is it because we have a lot of nightmares that we're making works about dreams?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Actually, that's interesting.
Something in common.
Yeah.
So I used to try to make sense of them, but at some point I also realized that not everything has to make sense. Not everything has to be interpreted.
I agree. Have you ever dreamwalked? If not, how would you imagine this happening to you?
Have I ever dreamwalked?
Yeah.
Yesterday we dreamwalked, no? That was a dreamwalk, right?
Yes. So you did. But that was my question, and what I meant is like, have you ever dreamwalked like as a condition?
Okay. Well, my mind went directly to the love. I was like, yes, I
But
dreamwalked.
this we can speak about your experience. There too.
No, actually never. Never dreamwalked, never dream talked. I dream laugh sometimes, I've been told, which is also very creepy. I laugh in my dream.
Laughed?
Yeah.
Wow. This is so funny. Do you remember what you were laughing about?
I cried once because I dreamt that my dad died. And no, he didn't die, but we found out that tomorrow he was going to die. There was like a clock that was created that would give you times of like when people die. And then my dad did the test and then he was like, you're dying tomorrow. And then I cried in the dream and I woke up and my pillow was soaked. Like I was really crying in real life. So that was like really intense. But I've never dreamwalked. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
A few times when I was a kid, I think I was trying. I don't remember anything about it, so I know about the situations only from my parents. And they were describing me trying to enter spaces that are not meant for entering. Like I was trying to walk into the closet a few times,
Okay.
or I was trying to go to a wall. So I was just like, trying to pass it through.
Wow.
I don't know, it was all before Harry Potter and other things.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of fascinated by people dream walking.
Me too, but it's a bit scary because
Yeah.
it's a person like here and not here.
And you're not supposed to wake them up, right? Isn't that something, or is it a
I
myth?
don't know, actually. I don't know what's
I feel like I have that in the back of my head that you're not supposed, well, not abruptly wake up somebody who is dream walking.
Yeah, I imagine it can be a huge shock.
Yeah, we all dream walked with you yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Why video games? Well, that was my question to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I used to play a lot when I was younger, and then I kind of stopped. Then I got into art. I was doing 3D. I enjoyed it a lot. So just as a practice of working within 3D. And then I became really fascinated by video games just because, like, I was looking at representations in digital spaces, like digital blackface and all these things. And then I started really looking into the representation of, like, Blackness specifically in video games. Understanding also that the teams who are building it, or like the video game industry, is very cis, white, male, heteronormative. But they try to kind of make it a little bit more diverse, but like how can these different identities be represented within video games in a way that makes justice to the community that they are trying to represent? And then it just, when I get interested into something, I just spiral into it. And then I was like, wow, video games, coding, like everything behind it, the world building in video games, how everything, every value, every rule is encoded by somebody in video games. It became so fascinating to see it as like a small world that is a representation of our world. And so it just became my thing. I was like, okay, video games, I really want to dive deeper into it. Maybe it's not going to be for the rest of my practice, but right now it's my main focus. And I had written in one of my cards, like, how did you get into LARPing?
Well, it's a long story. I will try to make it short. But basically, I had when I was a teenager, I had some problems talking to people who are not my family. And then I got into physical mail correspondence through like a newspaper for teenagers. I was writing fiction short stories and publishing them in the newspaper. And then I got into correspondence with people who play LARP. And then they slowly seduced me to join. And through LARP, when I was a teenager, I socialized, I think. And I learned to speak to people, and I even became a journalist later. So I could not stop talking at some point. And I think this practice made me, in many ways, who I am right now. And it comes with a lot of opportunities for embodying, especially logics that are not the same as ours. And trying to understand, if I would be this person coming out from this context, how would I react to the world? What would I do? How would I behave? What decisions I would make? I think this is such a valuable experience that we almost never fully practice in our daily life. And I kind of believe that LARP can be this tool for expanding our imagination of others. And I'm really fascinated with that. And I used to do this as a hobby for quite some time. Then I didn't have time for it when I became a journalist. And then when I moved here, I realized that I want to experiment with this more and try to see what is possible with LARP and where is the limits, how to make this work. So it's just such an amazing thing to explore, how to help people play together also and get into playful world and get into collective imagination. That's what I'm most interested in, I think.
Yeah, I think the aspect that made me a little bit afraid yesterday when coming into the lab. It's like my practice, I mean, video game is very much like, a lot of time it's just you behind a computer or like behind your television. So there is a part of it that feels very much like, I don't have to be confronted in a social situation. And I think I do have like social anxieties. They're not very outwardly presented, but like innerly I feel them a lot. And I was like, wow, I have to be in a group of people, play pretend, like and inhabit another character. And that really kind of like stressed me out. I think this idea of like doing it, I think the collective aspect is really nice, but then having to get out of your comfort zone and have to interact with other people that you don't know but it worked really well. I think the way you're constructing it and the way you ease us into the playing and that we were like this group of family, I think that really helped. But yeah, I was I was anxious. I had a glass of wine before coming to the lab.
I can understand this completely. I also have a lot of social anxiety still, although I kind of learned, I think, over years to work around it. But I think one of the big reasons why I do social games, and like LARP is part of social games, is to give people who have the similar experiences I have. I have no idea what to do in a group of people that I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel very awkward. I feel like I have to fill all the silence, the gaps, like I have to do something because, oh my God, it's scary. And then it's so beautiful when you actually can play together. It gives you immediately an alibi to be with people, and it gives you something meaningful to do. And you also create an experience that you can relate and remember later. And then it opens up people in a very nice way. Not only LARPing, LARPing is a bit more challenging maybe than just a social game without the role-playing aspect. But then I just find it really, really nice, but also bonding practice.
And I think what's nice in doing it in the parking lot yesterday is like also claiming the aspect of like we're so used to behaving a certain way in public space and playing in public space and playing different characters and allowing our bodies to embody something else, to feel the space differently, to just like we're claiming space also in the parking lot. We're allowed to be here and we can. What are these invisible rules that we're always following? I think that actually worked quite well. Because I know like before you did it in like more nature, but I do think that this contrast with like public space where there's a lot of people allowing ourselves to play there, confronting ourselves with other people who are in their day-to-day movements is really interesting.
And then you said, oh, you were like hesitant to come and had some anxiety about it, but then what actually helped you? I'm curious.
I think what worked really well is that you form these families, and then I felt like I was held by the others to embody. I think if I was by myself trying to figure out who is my character, how does it fit? You know, in the beginning I even came to you, I was like, I don't know how to read this card. I think that stressed me out. But then because the others were really comfortable, they made me feel comfortable, we came as a family, I felt like slowly I was getting into it. So I think this doing it together is what really helped me.
Nice.
Yeah, get into the thing.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
How do the players or participants of your games influence your work? Marie?
In many ways, I think specifically LARP is only, I would say my responsibility is kind of 50% of the whole process. And sometimes this is even challenging because this medium implies that people who come to take part, they also take the responsibility for their own actions and they build up upon the frame that was brought by the game designer, and they also create on top of it. But sometimes I find it challenging to change people's expectations, because especially like I do very often LARPs for people who are into art, and general art audience. They are very used to be like consumers of experience. I have to always explain that this is not this type of experience. You have to play along. You also are free to build upon it, and that's the whole purpose of it. So we are doing this together, and in this way, I'm just dramatically affected by my like players because I sometimes even when I facilitate the scenario, I can even change things on the go, because I will see, oh, this is the direction that it seems that everything is going. So I would tweak some rules and some ideas so that it would make more sense in the moment for it to grow into something like beautiful and nice, to a nice ending especially. And then I always write down how it went, and I do like a lot of reflection. I ask people about their experiences so that I can build upon this next time and then maybe alter this scenario. And there are some LARPs that I just keep rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. And they're not finished because I still did not reach what I was hoping to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And how about you?
Well, yeah, they also influence a lot, but more so, I think, in the making process. So I think play testing is very important when you make video games, because like the way that people play a game is so different than how you would expect it. Like you make certain path you think is very obvious, and then you invite somebody to play and they will just jump off a cliff and you're like, that was not the plan. And then you realize, okay, I have to make like invisible boundaries there. I have to, you know, so I think it very much influences also like, okay, I'm trying to do something is it understood in the way that you play? So to organize, at least that's what I learned with the making of my previous game, that I need to organize even more playtesting moments at every stages of the making of the game, because it's really important to see how people actually interact with it, and that influences how I make the game. But also thinking of who am I making the game for influences a lot how I'm gonna make the game. Like it's like, okay, I really want to make it for my community. So how do I make that game for them, and how do I involve them in the making process of the game? But then once it's done, you're influenced by how the reception of it for maybe another game. But once it's done, then the game is done.
Yeah, I play also a lot of video games, and I have friends who are designing video games, and I love playtesting because it's like, I feel like in many cases in video games I just do things that are not so common, and I'm the person who can just run into the situation that would not be so obvious.
So you're the person to invite for the playtesting.
Yeah, I was told many times that I'm very good playtester for like all sorts of games. What are your favorite video games?
Oof. I don't have one specifically.
There's a bunch.
I just finished The Last of Us 2, and it's still on my mind so much. I played it way too late. When there was like the whole crave of Last of Us 1, then I played the first one, I was like, oh. And I played the second one, I was like, what a video game. I love the cat game, how is it called? Stray?
Yeah, Stray, yeah. I also
Stray is so cute. Yeah. But I love Stray, the moment where you're just a cat and you're like discovering the place, and the moment you're chased, I'm like, I could have done without that. I like the simple, boring, walking games.
Yeah, it's a really nice story. I mean, it's very simple. But
but it's nice to be a cat and then you just scratch couches and it has like nothing, it doesn't advance the game whatsoever, but I like that there's all these like quirky interactions. And then what did I played Spirit Farah also.
Nice.
Very cute.
I also played it.
I don't know. Definitely at the moment, Last of Us 2, I'm still digesting it.
I only watched it, but I loved even the someone else playing. I just loved it so much. It was incredible.
That's one of my boring facts also. I love watching people play video games.
Me too. I love playing them, but I also love watching
it's the most random thing
play.
ever, but I just like watching people playing video games.
Yeah. I have one more question. I'm curious.
What is your favorite video game?
I will say, but then, okay, I played your video game, so since we are speaking about it, so I played your game, and I am really curious. I absolutely love that it's so slow. And the way I played it, I already shared it with you, but the way I played it is I was just walking around, laying down in the space, and I enjoyed it so much. And apparently there were more levels that I never found. But I enjoyed just the slow walking, and I really loved the yawning that you can do in different... So I think my experience of playing your game was just choosing the best location to yawn. That was ours.
That's good.
It was like, it is the best you. So how would I think this is more or less what I was doing.
Yeah, that's good.
Why the character in your video game walks so slowly? Is there a specific reason for that?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of my research is also about like game mechanics and expectations in video game, and this kind of like extractivist logic that you have in video games. And I was trying to think about like if I'm making a game about resting and I also want the player to enter a certain state of rest, what are certain things that I can take away or change to try to promote this kind of like resting state? And then for me, this idea of like that you're supposed to be able to go super fast in video games where sometimes you have shortcuts on how to travel, and to think about like what if that wasn't the case? What if you were just like, I'm giving you the pace at which you're supposed to play this game. So I'm setting certain rules for you to follow to be able to play the game. And I really like that most of the people who played it were so confused by and they were like pushing all the buttons trying to go faster. And this contradiction, to see this play with this expectation and think about like the line between like boring and entertaining, like seeing how far I can go with my games to still make something that I think works, but at the same time it's very, you have to let go of your expectations when you play it. And I think that's the reason why I made it so slow.
It makes perfect sense. I also tried, of course, to walk slowly, but I kind of very quickly realized that I can't. And then I just embraced the fact that it's a slow process. And then, yeah, you ask what are my favorite video games. Well, I have so many because I also play a lot. But I think, well, I like discovering a lot of just weird experimental stuff. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of things like Stanley Parable, for example.
Yeah.
And the Beginner's Guide, and this, like, the whole bunch of video games that explore what is a video game and like all these instructions. But I also like, for example, Dishonored. I don't know if you played it. It's one of my most favorite games, I think, of all times. And then I lately spent a couple of 100 hours playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I love Cyberpunk, and then of course Witcher. And like
No, I've never played Cyberpunk yet.
I highly recommend.
I know.
It's so good.
But I'm like, I feel like if I play it, I'm gonna get sucked in it, and I'm like, when can I offer like 2 weeks of gaming in my schedule? Because when I start and I get really sucked in, it's hard for me to also leave it to the side and be like, okay, now I'm going to work.
For me too, but I kind of try to play it on, like, I have to put myself an alarm that I have to stop, and I almost never stop an alarm. But at least I know that now, okay, right. But then what I really love, but I'm so immersed in the video games that bring me something, is that I'm looking forward for the moment when I go back from all other things, and then I get into that imaginary world, and then I will do meaningful things in there too. Yeah, it's very nice that there is a moment just where you go in, like, you're immersed in the story, and then you experiment what you can do with the mechanics that are created.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think my most favorite is probably a LARP by Nina Runa Essendorp. And it's called Strangers, and it's a LARP, it's a non-verbal LARP about migration. And in this LARP, you are divided into 2 groups, and then in each group you create your own language, a sign language, and you create routines. And then the LARP develops in a way that something happens, so it's kind of 2 countries, and something happens in one country, and then people are forced to slowly join the other country. And then when they come from completely different language and completely different routine, and you see how this affects the routine and the language and the interaction of the first group. And it's such a amazing way to tell about this whole issue. And what is really great about it is that that's when you play it, you think not only about the struggles of migrants, but also the struggles of the hosting side, and how it is challenging, how it also divides the society immediately into those who want to accept strangers and who don't, and and why. And all of this is happening only through sign language, which is incredible. And it's so intense. Like, I was crying a lot when we played it. Because it just resonates with me on so many levels. I think it's one of the most beautiful LARP, like short LARP designs I ever experienced.
Sounds intense.
Yeah.
So many questions about non-verbal LARPs, but that's maybe for another segment.
Okay, so we are keeping the standard.
Yeah. But there are moments that it's going to be chop-chop.
But I have a feeling that this went nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Go to the next dream walk.
Yeah, and come to the exhibition. When is your exhibition?
In July.
In July. Yeah.
Yes.
And where? Like, say a few things, so that we do it in the proper way.
Exhibition in the Rijksmuseum Twente in July 2025. Next dream walk.
Next dream walk is on 23rd of May in the new Sickhouse house.